Another Brick fan with a look at a collectible minifigure series. This is Dungeons and Dragons. This is set 71047. It was released in September 2024. It includes 12 minifigures, each in a blind box that costs $5 each. Now, we can't feel out the blind boxes anymore, which I always thought was half the fun. But even though they're in blind boxes, there is a scanning app that is really good, so it's pretty easy to get these, all 12 of these, on the first try. That is, if they have all 12 of them in stock. This is the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons, so LEGO did this set. LEGO did a large set, which is a Dragon Castle and Keep, which is also a really nice set. I think they did a good job in selecting a variety of characters with a variety of races or species, as it were. Some evil, some good, and definitely some player characters as well. So I think they did a really good job. And you can see some of these have multiple heads. So they have both male and female heads to make it easier for them to be used as player characters. There's a few I think that really stand out here. I think this elf wizard here looks really, really good. I think if you look at the Arakocra, I'm probably saying that wrong, the Arakocra, this bird man here as a ranger is a really nice figure. This bard here in the back is really nice. The Lady of Pain here is just a super nice head mold. Then a couple of wizards and different types of creatures. There's like a vampire over there as well. So lots of great figures here. So let's go ahead and take a look at each of these figures individually. Here are our first two minifigures. We have the Dwarf Barbarian here. You can see with the short legs. And these are the mid legs, so they do allow her to bend. She's carrying this nice axe piece here, as well as a torch. She has this fur collar and does have an alternate face. So here's an alternate head here. So there's the male head with the two different expressions on him. And then of course her face is right there with the red hair there. This is Gith Warlock, so this is a Warlock, Gith Warlock. And you can see he's got this staff with the eyeball on it. And then this new dagger piece. Might not be new, but I haven't seen it before. So that is kind of a wicked looking dagger. He's got the shoulder pauldrons. It looks like he's an elf. So he's got the elf ears there. As always, great prints. Dual molded legs here for the Warlock. And he also comes with an alternate head. So there's the male head and then the female head here for him. Two sides of the female head. So there's the other side of the female head. So both of these characters can be either male or female, which adds for more playability, of course. Moving around the figures, you'll see arm printing here on our Dwarf Barbarian. So the kind of the fur lining on the sleeves of her jerkin or her coat. She's got this bone container like strapped to her back here. The ruffle, again, alternate expression for her. There you go. The Warlock has a key back here. Looks like a couple potions stuck in his belt. And then he also has an alternate expression there. You can see there. I like this elf hairpiece. Turned out quite nicely. Then the same kind of printing here on the other side of our dwarf. So very nicely done for our first two characters. Next up we have a Tiefling Sorcerer here. You can see the orange head here, the horns integrated into the hair. She's got this casting a spell, so this nice kind of spell lightning bolts, like a triple lightning. So that's a good little piece there. She also comes with this little dragon. So here's a little dragon figure that she comes with, some little printing for the eyes there. the wings, pretty nice little dragon figure, as well as an alternate head. So once again, I think the female one is on there. There's the male head with the two different expressions. More of a neutral expression and then kind of an angry expression. The female head has that open mouth look there. Next to her is a Dragonborn Paladin. You can see the nice armor. He's got this big staff with that nice little translucent piece with all the different kind of sparkles and stuff in it, which is kind of catches the light really interesting in really interesting ways. He's got this dragon shield here, kind of a large shield. The dragon head mold is really nice with a couple of gold horns in there. Obviously, the really nice plate mail armor here. You could just barely see some arm printing here on him. And of course, the sorcerer has a tail here and printing on the arms. So let's take a look at the backs of these. Now, the back is very plain on the Paladin, although it is in this nice kind of chrome color. Even the legs are chrome. Of course, alternate expression here for our sorcerer. You see more of a friendly female face there. Obviously no alternate heads or expressions for our Dragonborn. Again, the printing on the sides here. You can see a little bit underneath the shoulder pauldron here. Side printing on the leg there. And you can see our little sorcerer has the dual molded legs with the half printing and then the black boots. Overall, two really nice characters again, and showing off the different races from Dungeons and Dragons. Here are our next two figures. So starting here, this is a Halfling Druid. You can see it's got a bird here, which is a nice little bird piece. And then this big staff with some leaves and a flower and stuff on that. Has a nice green and brown cloak. You can see it's brown on the inside and green on the outside. So it could be done either way. You could flip it around and have the green and brown, or have him wearing a brown one instead of a green one. Looks like the short legs, so no bendability in here. So this one is actually shorter than the Dwarf. Next to our Druid is an Arakocra, or Birdman Ranger, of course with a bow and arrow. Rangers are generally known as being good archers, as well as trackers and things like that. Large wings back here. Got the bird-style legs that we've seen in several other sets, so that it's not the normal minifigure legs. So the claws or talons there on the front are printed quite nicely. Then, of course, the wings here in the back that kind of cover all that stuff. All of the back printing, but then on the Druid you can see that he has some extra printing here in the back, a little satchel, a little pouch back there. Again, the brown and green cloak, so it's a very thick material, very stiff, thick material. Our Halfling Druid does have an additional head. So I've got the male head on the Druid right now, and here's the female head. There's the kind of angry expression, and then the more flirty or nice expression there, kind of winking there. The male head, he does have, as you can see, a little facial hair there. It's not so obvious with the cowl on, but then you can also see there's more of a neutral expression on our Druid. And lastly, the Ranger does come with this little cat that comes with the Ranger. So a couple of different animal companions here, with a bird for the Druid and then the cat for the Ranger. Here are our next two characters. So we have a Mind Flayer, which is a very difficult creature to beat in the Dungeons and Dragons. And then we have, this is listed as Strahd von Zarovich, or Zarovich. He's got this goblet here, big long sword, it looks like. The blue cape, of course. He looks like a vampire to me. The Mind Flayer comes with this little brain creature here, and the name of it escapes me right now. I'll find it, put it up on the screen. But this is a like a thought devourer or something like that. Trying to remember from Dungeons and Dragons. But this is a cool little mold as well. Some legs and a tail there on this brain. Moving around the figures, you see there's some really nice arm printing here on both of these characters. You know, some indications of armor and things like that. And then moving around to the back, you see the nice printing all the way down on the Mind Flayer. I think it's great when they print on both sides of these little robe pieces, and good printing here. Of course, no alternate expression for the Mind Flayer, and here's the alternate expression on Strahd von Zarovich. And we lift up the cape here, and you can see the nice printing here on the back. It looks like he's got kind of a fur on the side, dual molded legs, as you can see. Once again, that stiff cloak material. Very long hair here for Strahd. Printing on the arms again. This one is different. As you can see, there's that fur again. So a little fur pauldron of some kind. There you can see a little vision of that on the side as well. Strahd also comes with a little familiar or a little creature. Strahd also comes with this little rat, as you can see here. Very simple mold with a red eye, very big rat. Of course, you see this mold in a lot of the Harry Potter sets for scabbers. Here are our next two characters. This is an elf bard with a nice scarf there. You can see his lute, and he's got a gold scimitar or short sword. Maybe a cutlass, kind of looks like a pirate sword. See a nice big smiling face there, and like many of the other characters, there is an alternate head. So there is the alternate head. So this one is a female, and you have to look really closely. There's the blue lip liner there, or lipstick. And then the male, of course, just has that same. So they have very similar grins. They look pretty similar. And then the other side here is the male singing. Of course, it is a bard. And then we'll take a look at the female alternate when we turn these around. This is the Lady of Pain. So a creature, really detailed box here. You can see the box print there is really detailed, kind of with some gold and red and things like that. So it's just a little box that she's holding on to. Very detailed printing, and I think the robe piece and the torso matched up really well. Of course, a very intricately detailed headpiece here, and that's just, it's a kind of a rubber piece that goes over a blank minifig head there. So very nice piece there. The cloak she's wearing, or robe she's wearing, is also quite unique, being this, you know, split up into several pieces there. Moving around to the back, you can see that interesting cloak, you know, with the different ribbons or different pieces of it there. This newer interesting scarf piece. Underneath the cloak here, again, that stiffer material, but you can see the more printing all the way down the back of the robe piece, which again, I like very much. And then here is the alternate face for the female singing bard. So once again, you can see a little bit the different kind of mouth expression, and then you can definitely see some of the blue lipstick around her mouth there. Our last two minifigures include this character they named Szass Tam. And then the last one is Tasha, the Witch Queen. Szass has this power piece here. These launch. You see these a lot in the Marvel sets. And then he has this translucent skull piece. So it's done in that red trans with kind of like a jack-o'-lantern look, you know, or maybe just this is like the skeleton print, like you would see on the skeleton heads, although done in the trans red. Our witch has this book with a printed spell in it. So it's nice to get that little printed tile with a spell in there. Taz has this kind of evil look here, almost a skeleton type look. He's got the very detailed cloak with the upturned collar and the cloak, both in this stiffer material. The robe piece is printed all the way down. Our witch has this really nice hat hair combo with the hair kind of flying in 3 different directions there. She does not come with an alternate head like so many of the others do. As you can see, dual molded legs on her, some bracers it looks like printed on her sleeve there. No printing on the sleeves on Szass. There's that hair going back this way, and then here's her alternate expression. You can see the back printing with a belt with some accessories and things on it. And then a little bit of printing here, once again, all the way down from the front and the back of the robe piece, which I like that a lot. There is no alternate expression on Szass, but you can see he's got some tattoos on the back of his head there as well. Once again, as we come around, you see those bracers there on our witch. And that is all 12 of our minifigures. So once again, here's all 12 figures. Like I said, all of them have really nice characteristics, as I pointed out. One thing I may not have pointed out is the fact that these base plates, or the 4x3 with the single row of studs there, kind of what I'd consider kind of a base plate for these minifigures, has that stone printing on it. We've seen that many times with, like, say, Batman. The Disney series had that. Some others have had those, and I think it's really nice to have those unique prints on those pieces for the stands for these characters. As far as value goes, these are all the same. You can usually find them for $5 each, which I think is a pretty decent deal. They've had minifigures of about $5 each for several years now. Some places are charging a premium, like they'll charge you $6 or more on these, so try and find them for the $5 price, which again I think is a really good deal. So I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on these Dungeons & Dragons characters and this collectible minifigure series in general. I'm going to get started on my next video, and until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to see more of my LEGO reviews. I've left a link to my other collectible minifigure series reviews as well.